Let's get into CSS. CSS, or a cascading style sheet, is something that helps you style your website. It can take your website's boring and plain HTML look to a professional-looking website filled with personality. For example, look at this chopped HTML web page for a Pokédex site. Using CSS, we can transform it into a beautiful, official-looking Pokédex. Let's take a look at what was written. This is a part of the CSS file that was used on the Pokédex site. Again, there's a lot going on at first glance, but we can see that a CSS file is simply made up of these blocks called rule sets. A rule set tells the web page what to change about which elements. Now, let's take a look at how one would write a rule set. Every rule set has at least three things. Firstly, the selector. This tells the web page which elements to apply the styles on. In this case, the entire body of the web page. And then there's the attribute. The attribute tells the web page what to change about the selected element. And then there's the value. This tells the web page what to change the attribute to. Altogether, this makes a complete CSS rule set. Now, to take a deeper look at what CSS can do, let's start again with our simple Hello World heading. Now, let's apply some styles to it. We can change the color of the text using the color attribute, setting it to blue. We can change the background color of the entire page using the background color attribute. We can add a border to the contents of our web page using border style, and we can change the size of the border using height and width modifiers. These are just a few of the many hundreds and hundreds of modifiers that CSS has, so the possibilities are limitless. Now, you might be saying, sure, we can change the style of a very simple web page with only one element in it, but that is not what a web page normally looks like. A normal web page looks something more similar to this, with many different elements sub-nested within each other. So what happens when I want to change maybe just the header, or maybe just the elements that show the Pokemon's information? That's where we need to use attributes again. We can give our HTML tags class or ID attributes. These help us refer to specific HTML elements. The difference is that an ID attribute must be unique, whereas a class attribute does not have to be unique. Now, let's see how we can use IDs and classes to style our site. Previously, we were using tags, so the CSS rules affecting every tag of that type. For example, the CSS is changing the background color of every single div tag in this web page. If we want to be more specific, we can use the IDs to change only the background color of the element that has an ID called title. Notice how we precede an ID with a hashtag to indicate that it is an ID. Similarly, we can use classes to change the background color of only the elements with a specific class. In this case, content. Again, note how we precede a class with a period to indicate that it is a class. Now that we've gone over the basics of CSS, let's add some style to your plain HTML site.